honestly, one thing, something happened. Someone start talking shit about each other, something, so we can have some more shows. Someone just start fucking cut a promo. NJ and Kenny, I'm gonna get Ken to start talking shit again. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well,
like
Benjay's kind of calmed down a little bit. You know, I feel like he's had his reign of terror. Yeah, I might have to start talking shit, but
where the fuck did Borito go?
Burrito,
he's
still
trying.
talking
He's
shit,
still trying, I think.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's one of the.
Of him.
Well, like, he's still talking shit, but like, no one gives a. Yeah, but no one really gives a fuck.
I haven't seen any of it. Damn, we might need to have a Borito segment.
No, I'm done with that guy.
Oh, my bad.
if it don't benefit me, I ain't doing it. Listen, we gotta start realizing who the fuck we are. You know, we can't give out free promo.
You're right.
You know, we can't give out the free promo. Burrito, you're doing a great job over there. Keep it up. Don't even try it, though. Don't try it.
He's about to run it back to.
Oh,
I
pray he runs it back.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I am your host, Borito, still the #1 CDL analyst / content creator in the world. And you know what? We're going to acapella a little bit. You know, I had a little request about this. I was going to do it eventually, but I was waiting for more things to happen. But, you know, you never know how long it's going to take a lot of these rosters to do things. So we're going to acapella, just talking about rosters, just yapping for a bit. Could be half an hour, could be an hour. Most of the time when I say it's half an hour, it always ends up being an hour anyway. But yeah, we're just going to talk about the roster stuff that already happened. And then talk about FaZe rebranding. We're just going to acapella. I have a bunch of tabs open. So I guess we're going to start right here. Like we already knew. I already talked about this a million times, but Cellium is going to Falcons. And there's a couple things I want to talk about. So kudos to him getting paid good money. I have nothing against that part. And I'm going to get to AG as well, because he's like the second part of this. I mean, from a straight business decision, this is a good business decision. But what this speaks to me, this roster decision, is that he is content with the career he has had, and now he's just in the collecting cash phase, because it's like, you're signing for this team pretty much knowing that you're not going to win anything this year. And if anyone on Falcons thinks they're going to win some this year, I mean, God bless them. God bless them. Anything's possible. We've seen LAG in Vanguard. We saw NYSL, that dysfunctional NYSL team, which was actually pretty good, like the Paul X, Kismet, Krim, Hydra. Like, that was a pretty good team. But we've seen some dysfunctional teams win, some teams that we never thought were going to win, but it comes around once in a blue moon. That was Vanguard 2021/2022. I don't think we've seen like an actual upset winner in a tourney ever since then. I'm trying to think. So like MW2, like NYSL was like considered like a top 4 team anyway. Not really a surprise. Seattle maybe, I guess. Yeah, but they have AG. I mean they have AG again, but maybe. But like after MW3, I mean, it was pretty much locked. It was like pretty much locked. But even MW2 is pretty much locked. But he's pretty much joining this team knowing he's not going to win. So what that speaks to me is he's content with the career that he has, or maybe he just knows it's a year to collect money, and maybe the next year the team's going to get better. And they're going to get a better player, because maybe they might go like, okay, this X experiment not working out. I could get paid good, and we're going to upgrade the roster again. But it just feels like a year of wasted time. But I think he already knows when it comes to the conversation of who's better, Simp or BZ, he's not in that conversation. He's like in a different conversation. I do think he's like a top 2, top 3 main AR, not just AR, but like main AR, not the flexes, because I think flex is like a complete different thing. But in terms of main AR, he's a top 2, top 3 of all time, like next to Clay and Formal, and you could probably even put him above. I can't even say. I'd actually put him top 3. I'll put him top 3. I'll put him number 3. For some reason, I still rate Clay as like. If we're talking about main ARs, like he's a true main AR, and he was saucy with it. I don't know. But yeah, it just feels like, and I don't know why, but sometimes that just kind of like rubs me the wrong way. I'm not sure if it's because, I just have that competitiveness in me and seeing people, but I mean, it's such a business decision. Like you can't even hate it, you know, it's such a business decision. You can't even hate it. Like anybody would take that offer, you know? I mean, I'm not going to say anyone, like I'm sure like the top players already in, but if we're talking about just like normal player, and if we're talking about ARs, I've talked about this for a long time. There's a drought. There's a famine on good AR players. So I think MC already knows no matter what happens this next year, he's going to be good the following year. Anyway, like he's still like the best main AR. So it's like he's going to be good regardless. And just talking about this Falcons team as a whole, I do have to say, like before I get into like the roster composition, I love the rebrand. I think for those of you watching on video, if you want to watch a video as well, subscribe on Spotify as well if you're not watching on YouTube. I think this logo looks so clean. I think it looks so clean. I'm actually glad they're just sticking to their roots, going with like the Riyadh Falcons. Actually, that's great. I think this branding looks clean. The logo looks so clean. Like it looks so fresh. And I think they're going to have a very nice jersey. Like I think their jersey is going to look fire too. Like they have a really clean ass logo, clean ass graphics. Like this header goes hard. I think this is so clean, in my opinion. Like that's so tough. Like I think that looks so great. So whoever put that one together, I mean, absolute class. Like just the logo looks phenomenal, honestly. Like the logo looks great. But yeah, so great rebrand. But when you talk about the composition, I mean, I've talked about this. You guys have heard me talk about this. But I'm going to reiterate it again because maybe not everyone heard. If they want to build around XNID, this is not the team that they should have put together. And if they were trying to put together a roster to win, I think getting rid of XNID would have been the better idea. But I also appreciate how they're trying to stick to the roots and at least keep one homegrown talent. Because if you're going to be the Riyadh Falcons and not have one player from Riyadh or Saudi Arabia on the team, it's kind of like a bit weird. It kind of be like having like the London Royal Ravens with no London or British or United Kingdom players like on the team at all. So I like that they're sticking to the roots, but you got to surround them with like, I mean, I already talked about this, but you got to surround them with players who are more team oriented. I don't mind the MC thing, but I think MC in teams like this, I think this is where his bad habits are going to come out the most. Like MC's bad habits, I think come out more when he already knows like he's already fighting a losing battle. Like MC's not the type of player, at least in my opinion, from what he has carried a lot of games for FaZe. Like he has been like the superstar in a lot of games for FaZe. Don't get me wrong, but in a team where, like, let's say they're just not doing anything on the map, I don't think he's the player that's gonna like win a respawn game. He's gonna do very well, like he's gonna do very good, but he's still dependent on the other players on the team. Like MC's not gonna go pop a 4-piece and go hold the hill. MC's the type of player who likes to bait. Like, you know, like he's not going to be that guy who's single-handedly carrying with the AR like Dan Ghosty did in Karachi Hardpoint against LAT. He's not doing that type of stuff with the AR. He's not moving that quick. He's not just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. Like he'll have really good games, but he's not actually like taking over the game. He just does really good at his part. He's a really good cog in the machine. But like, I don't think he has like okay, guys, if you guys aren't doing anything, I'm just gonna do everything. I'm gonna win us the game. I don't think it's gonna happen in this team. He's gonna have really good statistics, but it's not gonna result in wins all the time. You know, it's like that thing. Even in S&D, he's like the player that watches like the flank in S&D. He's not making the plays in S&D. That's gonna come down to AG and XNIT and Kismet. So if like they're not making plays, I'm just gonna be like the last person alive pretty much every time, and it's just gonna be like that dynamic. I think they're dynamic in everything. I think S&D's probably like gonna be like their best mode, because with Kismet most likely taking bomb, I mean that frees AG and XNIT to have a lot more freedom, and if you have MC just watching flank, you know, all that stuff, like it could actually, like S&D is probably gonna be their strongest mode, but I think respawns they're going to struggle quite a bit. And I mean, it's no surprise to say they're not gonna win anything this year. Like, this is a year where they just upgraded but not maximum. And the fact they're not doing the off season, I mean they got really good players, but it's like having MC and AG on the same team, I just think is a recipe for disaster. They're both individually really good players, but having them together on the same team, I'm talking bad habits central. You're going to see so much individual selfish gameplay, and I cannot wait. Like, I cannot wait. I've never been more excited for the snow to fall, because I can't wait for this game to come out and watch all this gameplay and make a bunch of YouTube videos about it. I mean, Black Ops 7 is going to be probably my best year, like, for content. Everything has been established in Black Ops 6, and now, I mean, Black Ops 7 is going to be absolute, like, breaking down their games will be like the joy of my life, because if it's anything like watching AG play against Team War, I mean, fuck, man. I mean, fuck. You know? I'm so sorry for swearing. Hopefully you're not playing this on a speaker, but I mean, fuck. And talking about AG, so I was in the middle of listening. I mean, it's like an hour and 46 minutes, so like I can't, but like Methods Live actually puts out like good clips from his stream, and they were having a conversation about, is this AG's last year to prove himself? But I wasn't able to find like the specific part. I'm still trying to like have it in my ear in my spare time. I can't do it at home. It's just too long to listen. I have to do it as I'm working. But having the YouTube app open while you're working and you can't close it because you don't have fucking YouTube Premium, shaking my head. I should just buy YouTube Premium, to be honest. But dude, that's another thing. Sidetrack. I have way too many subscriptions. Like, I can't add subscriptions anymore. I need to start canceling. I got Netflix. I got DAZN. I got Fubo TV. I got Apple Music. I have ChatGPT. I have Discord. I have Twitch Turbo. Like, look at all these subscriptions just being ripped out of my bank account. You know, I can't be adding another one, YouTube Premium now. Like, oh my God, that's just too much. You know? And that's on top of bills and shit, you know? Bad. I got started. There's more subscriptions. I got Disney Plus, but I have a great deal on Disney Plus, though. I got a great deal. What other platforms? I don't got Paramount Plus. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's it for the most part. I think. You know? I have a lot of subscriptions. Oh, I got a Visco subscription because I use it to edit photos. That's like $9.99, but still, it's another subscription, you know? I got all these like fucking subscriptions. So adding another one is just fucking crazy. What was the topic I was just on? Holy cow. What was I just talking about? Oh, it's going to come to me. It's going to come to me. Okay, yes. We're talking about AG. And if it's the last year to prove himself. I just have to, I'm going to preface by saying I respect anyone who's chasing that bag. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about getting that bread, baby. You know, it's all about having a good living, all about getting that bread, taking care of the people around you. Like, you know, that's just like the name of the game. But, you know, I feel like AG's been coasting now. You know, like the same way that like a player like TJ, like a really good Call of Duty player, just been coasting his whole career, like not really doing anything, but just being like a person on a team or just not in a team. Doesn't really look like the passion's fully there, I feel like with AG, it just feels like a check's just being collected and years are going by. Maybe he just believes in the quote-unquote project that they're putting together, like, give us 2 years and we'll have a team that you'll be fighting for and you'll be proud. But it's like all this time is just passing by, all this time is just passing by. And then I'm not saying he's passing by like he's old or whatever. That's not the case. It's more like the prime years of his career and how good he is being wasted. And I don't think he's developing as a player in these scenarios, because getting put in scenarios with like bad players on his team, which allows him to just keep being the player that he originally was, like before he joined Optic. And I don't think that is healthy if we're talking about trying to develop and become like a all-time great, like, unless you're disabled like carry teams. But we even saw with Optic and MW3, it took pretty much the whole year for them to adjust to that. Granted, they did win Major 3. Was it Major 3 or Major 2? But took them a long time to adapt. And they just won Major 3 and then they went right back to being fucking dog shit. And then they won champs. In my head. But that whole year, it's like he came in just being a player where he's just told to run around and get kills. So, you're just used to doing that. You're used to doing that before you even entered in the pro league, playing in like the 8-pack cups where you're playing against a bunch of noobs. You could just keep playing just all these bad habits. He could just keep being like a kill whore all the time. He could just keep doing the exact same thing and no one's going to tell him otherwise. And then it like, just having habits like that. And it feels like now it's like, is he really going to get back onto like a top team now? I mean, I could still see, like, somewhere down the line, like FaZe or whatever, still big him up or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the logistics around that are, but I just feel like it's like time is just like flying by. Like the prime years, I mean, he's collecting a bag. So, I mean, in that hindsight, it's good. But if we're talking about having a legacy, trying to be, I'm not sure what his legacy is. And I guess that's what it all comes down to. Like if he is saying in interviews, I don't know what he's saying. If he's saying he wants to be known as one of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time, like this is now like another year that's about to just go down the drain. Like, It's another year gone down the drain. Who knows what's going to happen next year? I mean, I would assume if things don't work out with Exit this year, they're probably just going to go full NA, to be honest. There's going to be a lot more players available. Like we're talking Scrap, we're talking Hydra. There's going to be some players available next year. So, but I can't imagine Hydra and Pred on the same team. Like, that just lacks so much responsibility. That's like such good players that just lack responsibility. But like part of me still thinks that they'll do good against like teams like the top teams every so now, often like just off of pure skill. But I feel like I'm not saying time is winding down, but he's just same thing with MC. It's just like it feels like this is just a year that's just gonna go by, but they're gonna get money. So that's the caveat, and that's the good thing. But I don't think it's doing anything. Like, if we're talking about legacy, talking about career, but I mean, who really cares? I mean, if everyone still thinks you're like a good player, I mean, like, they're still going to play with you. But, I mean, it's almost like the DM I got from, like, that, pro player when I was, like, tweeting about AG on the map and the hood rat shit he was doing in the hard point. And, they were talking to me about if that was like me or like another player, like we'd never hear the end of it, but because it's AG, whatever, he has friends, it's not a problem. It's not being brought up. He's going to keep getting away with it. Like, so there is, I guess there's something like that. I guess a lot of people just really like AG, I guess. Just really like AG. I'm not sure if he could do any wrong, but I mean, just this Falcons, I mean, they're just going to be wasting a year. And I think they're going to do really bad. And it just I mean, not pocket watching or anything, but it's like, I'm sure they got the funds, but it kind of just feels like all this salary money is just being wasted this year and nothing is going to get accomplished. Even with Clay as the head coach, I mean, trying to get AG, MC, and XNID, like that trio. I think Kismet's a very coachable player. I really like Kismet a lot. But I think just that trio is going to be so hard to get them synergized. So hard. Like, you know, everyone talks about you have to be an ex-pro player in order to be a coach. But I think to be a coach on this team, like, I don't think being a pro player has anything to do with it. Like, I think you just have to have really good man management. I think you have to have really good man management in order to be a coach. And that's where I think I'd be a great coach, because regardless of the YouTube videos you guys watch, I am really good with people. Like, I do sales for my job. I'm good with people. Okay? I'm good with people. But I mean, well, that's not me fucking pitching anything, by the way. I was just like saying, but it's going to be really interesting to see them put together. Like, I remember like last year when Clay was like tweeting like, yeah, like just give us some time. You'll see. We saw nothing, brother. So, I mean, God bless the Falcons. Hopefully they figure it out, inshallah. But I don't see it happening. We'll see what happens going into next year. But it's going to be like an Infinity Ward title, but we'll see. Yeah, so on to that. I'm just going to go through like the tabs as I got them. I want to go through like the face that actually... I'm going to go through like these first, since we're already on here. This is just completely random. I already know the answer to this, but I'm just saying it just to yap, because it's the Borito Talk podcast, and Burrito's talking, okay? I find it so funny how we could already know a player's dropped and everything, but they still have the team in their bio until the official announcement comes out like a month later. Like, Envoy could already be off LA Thieves, but won't remove it from his bio or talk about it until it's like they make some stupid like 20-second video. I'm like, can we not just like instantly like, yeah, you fucking drop it, and just, you know, like the fact that everyone already knew like a month ago, and now a month later they're doing like these videos saying goodbye. It's like, does it really take that long? Like, come on, like fucking lock in, like, you know, like all of us already know. But yeah, I think they kind of did Ghosty a bit dirty. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm pretty high on Ghosty, but I could see, I think it has more to do with like actually, I'm not even going to say personality wise, because I know that's part of it, but also I just feel the way Scrap and Hydro are looking at things, like these motherfuckers just aren't performing. Like, and that's what caused them to leave their other teammates. It's like, man, we're doing everything. These guys just aren't performing. And now with these players aren't performing, you know, and they could go do all the PR they want on Twitter and everything, saying, oh, no, like they're good players. Yeah. Then why aren't you playing with them? Like, you know, you clearly thought there's an upgrade. I mean, obviously there's an upgrade for them, but you clearly thought like they were not doing good. And I guess other players become available and you just like take those. But I don't really see dynamic-wise how Abyss is an upgrade for Envoy. Like, player to player, yes. But by dynamic to dynamic for the whole team and the players you have, I don't see how it's an upgrade for me personally. And, like, Abyss is not really comfortable being like the baity SMG who has, like, bad games, but it's for, like, the betterment of the team. Whenever Abyss does bad, I can see his cheeks start getting a little bit more red, and he starts pulling out ARs, and he's not that great when he pulls out ARs, so like he doesn't do bad. When he does bad, he gets frustrated, and when he gets frustrated, you know, like the vibe's killed, and you know that's just how it is. That's just how I see it. Whenever I watch him easy, every single time his cheeks get like Pikachu. Yeah, like with a team like Hydra, like with a player like Hydra, you need a player who is comfortable and confident in those 17 and 24 games, just knowing that they did their job. I don't think that's Abyss. Like, they're bringing Abyss to, you know, be Abyss, but it's like Hydra has to do a lot more than I would say. Hydra is like in a similar position as AG, where it's like you need to add more layers to your game, but I think Hydra's in a different position than AG, because Hydra does have a little bit more selflessness to him. Like, I can see Hydra going in there and baiting. Like, I've seen it before. Like, he doesn't have a problem doing that, but it's like how often he does that. Like, the balance in it, you know? There's still, you know, it still teeters more towards Hydra being a player who's like trying to do his thing, like, you know, but it's a lot more progressive like than AG's. AG's is just almost like non-existent. Like the amount of times I see him bait, like I've seen ARs bait more than him. Like I see a lot more ARs bait than him. But yeah, we could talk about team Kenny, Abizi, Scrap, Hydra. I've already talked about it before. I mean, I'm gonna bring up this tweet I made. You got two of the best S&D players of all time. Actually, I'm just gonna like play like the clip because it's audio, so all the audio people could hear it. And then I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. Even Zuma reacted to it, but I'm not going back on the stream to find the clip. I'm just gonna go off of what one of my mods told me. So. Was Scrap and Envoy going to work? Oh, Hydra. I mean, me personally, me personally, not just because everything that fucking went down, but I'm telling you right now, their S&D is gonna be terrible, dude. I'm telling you, they're gonna struggle at S&D so much. I could already see it, dude. Like, I think there's gonna be a lot of games, like especially in qualifiers, that they're gonna win just because of a skill diff. But when it actually comes down to it, playing like the good S&D teams, I think they're gonna struggle so much. That whole Scrap and Kenny, it's like half your team isn't really that great at S&D already. Like, you know, you got like two of probably like the best S&D players of all time, and then you got like two of the most average. So like that's an interesting blend. It's an interesting blend. All right. So, should I pull up exactly what my mod said? I mean, I know it's partially true, but you know, you have to take things in context when like you read them. Okay, so he said, Zuma doesn't like your take on 100 Thieves S&D now. He's laughing at you on stream. We gotta get back. He said, Scrap, we're gonna need to talk burritos on neck. Wait, what? I don't know why he said that last part. Okay, I'm gonna explain this. So I did say so bad. I don't know why I said so like it's gonna be bottom barrel. Like I didn't so bad, but it's gonna be bad. Okay, so let me explain. And actually want to bring up like this first comment. I didn't even like reply. I didn't even like see it. Scrap an average S&D player, even though he's top 5 KD in S&D. I just want to actually I'm gonna reply to it after. Okay, so S&D is a lot about KD. Okay, S&D is a lot about KD. Okay, but for some players, for some things, you actually have to like really watch. You have to really watch. And yes, Scrap all of a sudden out of the blue this year, and even if you look at previous years, like he has a good S&D KD, but you have to see what the player is doing on the map. But obviously, it's also contradicts with what the other players are doing, because like it's not like Scrap could be like the guy going in to get the first bloods when you already have like a Joe or a Kleenex or an Omboy or a Hydra doing that. So you're not gonna be the guy getting the first blood. So just having a good KD as an AR is good, especially when you're playing like the slower role. That is good. You know, you have the slower role, you know, it means that you're at least holding your own in like gunfights at least. But I could tell because nobody fucking watches. Everyone is watching the games, but no one's really watching. That's been my quote of the whole year. People are watching the games, but they're not watching, you know? They're not watching. If you watch Scrap, let's use Red Card, for example, okay? Let's watch Red Card. He had 2 Red Card strats all year long, okay? If we're talking about on offense, okay? And there's only so much you could really do on offense, but he had 2 Red Card S&D strats all year long on offense. It was either going mid and challing and then just like chilling there, or going stage side and holding that shit. That was it. That's all he did. So if you look at just from that POV, like just those 2 instances, that screams having like a positive KD, because you're either challenging the guy mid and you're winning, or you're seeing him and getting tagged, you're going away, you're going stage, and you have teammates in front of you doing the thing, and you're basically watching pinches or watching an angle, watching over people. When you're watching over people, a lot easier to have a positive KD, okay? Let's take Hacienda, for example. I watched this Hacienda. I should probably put into a YouTube video. I was working on it, but I was passing it while I was making it. Hacienda, he chows mid, offense and defense pretty much every round, but he has a person going in first. So, he's sliding in to go in the window or sliding the hall. He has a player going in front of him. So that breeds a positive KD, right? Because it's like you have an SMG going in before you. You're watching over the AR. You're scrappy. You have a great shot, If you watch his actual S&D and how he plays S&D, there's nothing special about it. He's a serviceable player who's able to get kills because he's a good S-tier aiming AR player. He's a good player. But we're talking about S&D player. Like, I think people have that confused. What being a good player is and being a good S&D player. There's a lot of good players in the league, but there's not good S&D players. It's like being a completely different good player in something. Like, there's players that are not good players, but then you throw them in S&D and they're good. Like, you could probably name those examples. Exit didn't have like the best year at Respawn. S&D, completely different player. You can name a lot of players like that. Scrap's S&D, very one-dimensional. Like, it solely depends on what his team's doing. Okay, so now take that. So that's one dynamic. And then you take Kenny. I watched Kenny's S&D all year. I've gone back off stream. Like, I'm talking hours, guys. Like, I'm not saying I just like sit there 3 hours watching Kenny, but like over the span of the year, hours, if not a full day, if like just watching Optic, watching Rokkr when he was on them, seeing his S&D. This guy in S&D in Black Ops 6 was borderline lost. And if you look at if we're talking about KD, like pretty much the past 2, 3, 4, you could probably go back like a few years. Negative KD. And I'm talking like 0.88s, like just not a serviceable S&D. And he's an AR too. Take that into account. You watch his S&D in Black Ops 6. There's a lot of times he just can't read anything going on. He doesn't know, okay, we have people over here. Haven't got any info over here. They should be over there. Just completely lost when it comes to S&D in this game. Like, for me watching Kenny, like, I don't care what he's a 3-time one. I don't care, guys. We're talking about how he's playing S&D. He's not a good S&D player in this game, okay? He was not good at S&D in this game. He was not good. Go back and really watch, guys. If you really want the answer, this is like no hate. If you really want to see for yourself, this is all public information. Go back and watch his S&Ds with Rokkr. Like, watch at least 10 S&Ds. And if after those 10 S&Ds, you think he's a good S&D player, then more power to you. Speed to you, buddy. Speed to you. But not a good S&D player. So you have two ARs who are pretty one-dimensional when it comes to S&D. And I'm comparing it to, like, if you look at FaZe, you got MC, who's like a smart player. MC's a very smart player. He knows how to read things. Like, he may be doing like activity wise, heat map wise, he may be doing like the least on the team, but he's a very intelligent player. Like, MC is like such a smart player when it comes to reading where people come from and just reading things, like reading ratty routes and reading timings. Very good at that. You pair that with an AR like Draza. And Draws is an AR, just like Kenny and Scrap, but he does way more in S&D. He makes plays in S&D. He's doing a lot more in S&D than they are. Like, Draws is actually like a 3-4 dimensional S&D player compared to Scrap and Kenny, one-dimensional S&D players. So you pair those two one-dimensional S&D players, then you compare them to Hydra. Great S&D player. Can't say enough great things. Great S&D player. But then you have a BZ next to Hydra. You got two players who have literally, okay, this is not even an exaggeration. And I'm not talking about picking up the bomb in the middle of the round. If we're talking about having the bomb at the beginning of the round, okay? Having the bomb at the beginning of the round. I don't remember MW19 that much, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say this because I already fucking know it's true. Since the inception of the CDL, Hydra and Abizi have not been the designated bomb carriers in S&D. So you're talking pretty much going on to 6 years. we could just play safe, say 5 years. Half a decade not being the designated bomb carrier. And now we're in a situation now where they're on the same team. And one of them has to take the bomb. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but that's a dynamic issue because they've gone so long without it. Abizi's made his name as being one of the greatest S&D. Like, I think Abizi's like top 3 S&D players of all time. Making the plays he's making requires not taking the bomb. But then you have Hydra, who also likes to make plays, likes to get first bloods in S&D. He doesn't like taking the bomb because he's always had like an SMG. He's always had a submissive SMG to do it for him. So now one of them has to take the bomb. Otherwise, Kenny's got to take the bomb because Scrap's not taking it. I can tell you that. So, and if Kenny takes the bomb, I watched Kenny take the bomb for like a short period this year for Optic because like AG cannot take it. Shotzi's not taking it. Shotzi could take it and like he did for a period of time, but if you want to get the best out of Shotzi, he's not going to take the bomb. You know, that makes a lot of sense to me because he's actually a playmaker. So Kenny had a slight period where he was taking the bomb. That shit lasted like not even a month, and it was back to being in the SMG's hands, you know? So not a good bomb taker. You got Hydra and Abizi for half a decade, have never taken the bomb. Scrap's not taking it. So that's one issue. And then you got two like just that dynamic alone, guys, really listen. You got two dynamic playmaking SMG S&D players who don't take the bomb, and then you have two one-dimensional S&D AR players who don't really like do much, you know, don't really make that much. Like Kenny, when he had like the SMG, was actually making plays in S&D, but with the AR, it's like a different player. It's like Attach when he had the SMG, like god tier. AR, all of a sudden, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. But just dynamic alone, guys. Like, you use your head. It doesn't, like, we don't always have to think, like, oh, they're, like, oh, man, we can't say that. They're, like, 2-time, 3-time world champs, guys. Like, we're here to critique. We're here to make speculation. We're here to analyze things. That dynamic, I just feel, is not going to work. And I'm fine having that hot take, and I'm fine with nobody agreeing with me. Like, you know, they called me a madman before. Like, you know, I was literally on par for like the greatest hot take probably in the history of the CDL when I said going into this Black Ops 6 year, Optic was not going to win. It was going perfect. They were getting pooped on every event after qualifier after event after qualifier, and it took one Canadian border agent. Man, my own countryman too, man. My own countryman did that to me. Took one border agent to take my hot take and fucking boot it in the garbage. Took one. Just one guy. Just one guy. Without that border agent, that was the best hot take of the year. They were not going to win anything, you know? He saved their year. Fuck, Merc saved their year, man. Merc saved their year. But I'm fine having the hot take, and I'm fine with no one believing me. But we're all going to come back to this. We're all going to come back to this. And we're going to be like, man, like Burrito's right. You know, we're all going to come back to this. I'm not saying they're not going to figure it out. I'm sure maybe later in the year they could figure it out. But it's going to require divine intervention. And it's going to require players doing things that they didn't have to do before, putting their egos aside. These are 4, like, all-time greats. I mean, I can't call Scrap an all-time great because he hasn't been playing that long, but I mean, he's still a great player. You got a bunch of legendary players on the team. I'm sure I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they could figure it out, but I have seen teams with like 4 really good players that they just can't figure it out because, you know, ego, fuck, too big. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that, you know? And, you know, I could see some gameplay stylistic clashes, like, you know, with Kenny and Hydra. I could see the same thing happening that happened with Shots. Actually, the same thing happening. And me personally, I don't think a Kenny for Ghosty's an upgrade, but that's just me personally. That's just like not off of hate. I'm not going off of, oh, like their resume's got way more chance. Like I can't go off of that. Like I'm going off of the right now. I think right now Ghosty's a better player. Ghosty's 100% a better player, especially going into the game that we're going into. Like Ghosty's a better player. And if anyone argues that, then I mean, I guess we'll just argue to argue. But Ghosty's a better player. They should have kept Ghosty. If they had Ghosty and then got a BZ, that's like a completely different dynamic. I'd probably actually like vibe with a lot better. But yeah, but they gave him away. Like they gave him away. They gave him away. I could talk about this roster forever, but yeah, but I can understand. I mean, like, no player's gonna want to hear they're an average S&D player and they're actually gonna agree with it. No one's gonna agree with that. Like, I already know. Like, I'm not expecting anyone to go like, you know what? Like, Borito actually thinks I'm an average S&D player. You know what? He's fucking right. You know, like, I don't expect anyone to say it. Nobody's ego is going to do that. You know, but you know, like the proof's in the pudding. And you know, you can look at KD when it comes to S&D, but then you got to start looking at what they're doing. You know. And Scrap's never been an impact. Like, has anyone ever said, like, have you heard any pro player, like, any pro player, all fucking wait. Have you heard any pro player? I've never heard any pro player say, Scrap's such a good S&D player. I've never heard that. I heard him say he's a great player. He's a great player, but S&D player. Is he a good S? I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. I've never heard anyone rejoicing over Scraps, like, you know, like, I just never heard it. But that's LAT, and I mean, as a roster as a whole, I think they'll probably win a championship. But like, I just think this year, I think there's less competition this year than there was last year, because I have no hope for fuck FaZe. But I guess we're gonna get into that next. Before we go any further, so we're gonna get into Atlanta FaZe. Oh my god, I'm just all over the place. Oh my god, I have all these different things open. Okay, this podcast actually is gonna go an hour. Okay, I actually got some topics here. Okay, I actually got some topics. As I take a sip from my water, got some topics. So Traixx re-signed with FaZe. So they haven't confirmed anything, but pretty much we could expect 04, Abuza, Drazza, and Simp. And I guess we're going to go back to my tweets because, you know, I just tweet a lot. I just tweet so much. You know, I haven't been tweeting lately. I got to get back on that, to be honest. But I'm going to pull up some tweets I made. You know, I'm going to pull up some tweets I made. So I made this tweet when it comes to 04 and Abuza. I'm gonna try to read this out because I used like a clip from a Vancouver 100 Thieves game at EWC where Vancouver had like a 3-4 down and all four players except for actually I guess 3 players because Abuza like knew what he was doing because he's on the hill just watching the front, but all 3 players didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I said, not to nitpick too much, but I see scenarios like this and I just can't help but think FaZe is going to regress this upcoming year. I never see high-level teams like Optic and LA Thieves not know what to do in 3-4 down scenarios. That level of quick decision-making and instant team coordination / communication is definitely a skill gap. FaZe already struggled in situations like this because it felt like in hill-holding scenarios, half the team knew what to do and the other half didn't, or sometimes nobody at all. Granted, these are just some examples. Brackets could probably find way more. But from the perspective of upgrading to win multiple championships, it looks like a team that will need time to get there or will just fall short mostly. Brackets again, I assume they'd want faster success. In my head, the ideal scenario would be Abuza being primary Hillkin, obviously. Then 04 and Abuza, 04 and Drazza picking up secondary hero responsibilities, putting Simp in those roaming decision-making positions, which I know he's S tier at. But on the map, it won't always be positioned like that. So that's where I ponder. I personally love the Abuza pickup, but the SMG dynamic, what did I say? The SMH dynamic, I think I meant, but the SMG dynamic looks good, but at the same time does not at all. From the POV of getting pieces to create a more synergized team, I can see their angle. Let's just see if it works out. Okay. So basically, if that was confusing to any of you guys, I'm basically saying they're not technically solving all of the problems that cause them to make these roster changes. So, number one, if you look at it from just a skill perspective, I mean, you could argue it's a downgrade, so not really something being solved, and you don't have players that are like fucking titans on the map. And, you know, this team has fallen short all year, so they don't even know what it's like to actually win. They just know what it's like to get there, but not what it's like to actually get over the hump. So you're already downgrading there. And then when it comes to like play style, like on the positive, you're going to have a more synergized team. There's going to be a lot more teamwork. You got some more selfless pieces. 04 and Abuza are very selfless players, very good selfless players. So that's a positive. But then, you know, there's like the other part, you know, FaZe's hill holding was really bad this season. And it is partially solved because, you know, Surge for the most part is good at holding hills, but they don't know what to do with their kills a lot of times when like, they get them. And I think that's something that like a BZ specifically struggled at was, you know, like they would get kills and he kind of knows what to do, but then like he doesn't do it in a correct way. But I've talked about that like a million times. And I just feel like if we're talking about 04, Simp, Abuza, Draza, it just saying it on your tongue, but I mean like we could say the same thing about Neptune, Abuza, 04, Nasty. Like, no one on paper probably would have thought before the year, like, that was going to be a top two team. But they ended up being that. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say, like, you know, there's no hope. Like, just go off of paper, because we've been surprised. And they got 2 championship caliber players on their team in Draza and Simp. So, it's like, you know, they have pieces there that they didn't have last year. If you're talking about it from the perspective of Vancouver. But, you know, with the other teams, you know, you see Optic, you see LA Thieves. I mean, I feel like they could beat LA Thieves. Like, if we're talking about just, like, from a teamwork perspective, they could probably outmuscle them. But there's a lot of times where, like, being just a skilled player and popping those pieces or winning that big gunfight comes a lot into play. I saw it a lot of times. Like, watching LA Thieves and Atlanta FaZe play, like, this year in respawns, bro. It was just trade heavy. That is like peak Call of Duty. Like that is Titan Call of Duty when we talk about how LA Thieves and like FaZe played against each other. Like the hardcore trades. Like it was just a hardcore trade fest. Like everything is so tight knit and close. And I just feel like with this FaZe team, like seeing them regress in the skill category. I mean, they'll be able to hold their own, but it's like in terms of winning. And we're talking about winning multiple championships. Like, FaZe isn't an org that's just trying to, like, do good. You know? It's an org that's trying to win. They're used to winning. They're used to being at the top. And I think this is going to be, like, the second year in a row where they're not going to finish first in the CDL standings. I could honestly probably say that 100%. This might be, like, the first year ever Optic actually finishes first in the CDL standings, to be honest, which is crazy. But yeah, I might make a full other video about this FaZe thing. You know, I didn't realize how much yapping actually like affects your voice. I really need to get better at talking for long periods of time. I swear I'd already be used to it because of streaming, but I guess not. But yeah, this FaZe team, it's like I'm confident, but I'm not confident. I'm confident, but I'm not confident. But I don't want to be the person, because I see everyone else doing it, judging them by how it looks on paper. Like, on paper, it doesn't look like they have enough skill, like, you know. But they could really work extremely well together as a team. Like, I think it's just the 04 thing. I think the 04 thing is the one that throws me off. I think if they had a Neptune in that scenario, I would have nothing to say about this roster. But I feel like Neptune should have been on this team. I feel like being angry at Neptune for trying to find a team during EWC is absolutely weird as fuck. I feel like that is so dumb. I feel like that's so dumb. Like, come on, dude. Like, that is so weak. If that is, like, the reason. If that is the reason, I think that's so weak. Like, just a businessman, you know? You think if Neptune's teaming with fucking FaZe, if he has Draza, MC, Abizi on his team, do you think he's going to be at EWC trying to find a new team? No! He joined an average team getting average pay, so he thinks he could do better, you know? If he's starting on a top team, I guarantee he's not going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck, hey, hey, Boston, you guys look at him. You know, he's not going to do that, you know? He already knew when he signed up to Surge, he was just going to use the year to do better and upgrade, you know? He was not planning on being a lifelong Vancouver Surge player. Like, you know, he knew it's just a step back in the door to prove he belonged in the CDL, and now he did. And now, you know, on to a better team next year. But after you're on a top team, I guarantee he's not going to be like, oh, yeah, like, I'm trying to leave. Like, hey, yo, fucking Chauncey, like, what's good? You know? Obviously, Optics, like, the only exception. But, yeah, like, they should have just picked him up, dude. He was free as fuck, dude. Like, free agent, everything. The fact that Neptune's not on a top 4 team is crazy to me. The fact that he didn't end up on Ultra or Koi, whatever you want to call it. The fact he didn't end up on Koi, LA Thieves, or FaZe is mind-blowing to me. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. He is literally one of the top SMGs in the league, like top 5 SMG in the league at the end of the Black Ops 6 year. I don't know. In my mind, like, he could play Real's role, but he could also be a selfless SMG as well, like a bait-in first. He could do it all. He's good at S&Ds, good at respawn. He could have takeover games. Like, he can really heat up. He's a top player. Like, I don't know how he's not on a top team. I just can't even wrap my head around it. I actually just can't. I can't. Something else I want to talk about. Everyone's saying, okay, so for those of you who don't know, but I think everyone should know unless you're under a rock, is that FaZe is most likely going to be switching to Vegas. They're not going to be Atlanta FaZe anymore. It's going to be Vegas FaZe. A lot of people giving beef to this logo. I think the fucking logo looks... I think it looks nice. I think it looks fine. Everyone's saying it looks bad. I mean, I know there's the other one that has like the backwards F and the V, and then it has like the actual EGAS. Like, I think that one's bad. But I like this backwards F and the V. I think that goes hard. I think that looks clean. I think this looks fire. Anyone that thinks it looks bad, I mean, I guess you're just a hater. I think that looks like a fire logo. That looks fucking cool. I don't know how anyone hates that. I actually fucking like it a lot. I actually really like it a lot. Like, look at the backwards F and like the V that's angled. And if you actually look upside down, you know, it could be like an A too. But I mean, like, they're not Atlanta FaZe anymore. But it's a good logo. Haters out here. Absolute haters out here. Absolute haters out here. So yeah, I guess I could talk more about FaZe, but I mean, I'll talk more about them later, to be honest, like in later episodes, like after they announce the team. But I think dynamic-wise, I've already made a lot of videos about them. If you want to go back, go on the streams where I talk about, is Zo4 going to be like a good fit for FaZe? All those are very good listens. It's got a lot in the catalog for you guys to go back on. Like, there's no such thing as being bored. You know, I got a lot of stuff. We're going to get into this rumored roster. Okay, I'm going to get to this rumored roster right here. Rokkr's offseason comes into focus with Kremp, Gwyn, and Sky's talks. So you're talking about a team of Estriel, Kremp, Gwyn, and Skies. How are we feeling about this? Estriel, Kremp. I think that Gwyn and Skies. So that means Gwyn's probably going to be a flex then. That means Gwyn's going to be the flex for sure. Yeah, Gwyn's going to be the flex. Not going to be Estriel, not going to be Kremp. So Gwyn's going to be the flex. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of like that. I like it, but I know they're not going to do anything, you know? I like the team, but I know they're not going to do well. That's my thoughts on the team. I actually like the dynamic of Estriel and Kremp, but I just know they're going to be like mistake prone when they play good teams. Probably just going to get pissed on, you know? You know, there's a lot of players that like don't have like that good of growth in like the CDL. And you know, I'm going to get back to the coaches conversation. I'm not going to play exactly, but I need to find the part where Temp was talking about Looney specifically. I'm going to see if I can pull that up or pull just a clip of it, and then we'll try to react to that. So I guess we'll just take a small quick break, and then we'll be right back with this episode of the Borito Talk podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back. Yo guys, today's episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by me. No, I'm kidding. Today's episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by the Borito Takeover YouTube membership, the best membership on all of YouTube. For just $4.99 Canadian, you unlock a bunch of extra behind the scenes, extra breakdowns, extra analysis from yours truly, Borito. A lot of extra content that you will not get on any other YouTube channel for their memberships. Not trying to compare or anything, but it is the best YouTube membership. If you're interested in extra content, extra chill nights, watching breakdowns, analysis, so much good stuff in the archives, and so much more on the way from yours truly, Borito. So hit the join button. Join, support the Borito Takeover on my road to full-time content. This episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by the Borito Takeover YouTube membership. Now back to the podcast. Okay, we are back on this episode of the Borito Talk podcast. We are going to get into this clip of Temp talking about Looney. I'll play it for, he talks about it for like a while, so I'm going to play probably like a minute and a half. But I listened to this and I was like, this is literally what I said earlier in the year. Like, this is literally what I said. And I started making this around like the major 2. I think it was like major 2 or major. I think it was major 2. It was like major 2. I think it was major 2. When Rokkr decided in their vetoes that they were going to allow red card hardpoint in the first round of winners against Atlanta FaZe. And Atlanta FaZe smoked them on the map. Spoiler. And I was wondering, who the fuck is the coach on this team? And I already knew it was fucking Looney. I was asking that rhetorically, but and even going to the end of the year, I'm thinking Nero, Geo, and Esther, like, they're not like bad skilled players. Like, they're good skilled players, but on the map, they look lost the whole year. I was saying all this. This is everything I've said. I'm not saying this now. I've been saying this. You could go back on the streams, go back on the videos. I've been saying this. And I said, Looney is one of like the smartest Call of Duty players, and everyone always like, this is where I step in. Okay, this is where I step in now. Because everyone's saying, oh, like the best coaches are like the former pro players. Oh, but you're not a pro player. How are you going to be a coach? You weren't a pro player. Guys, we are actively seeing for the past half a decade some of the smartest Call of Duty players become coaches and have zero effect on their teams. Okay? Zero effect. Accuracy, zero effect on that Cloud9 team. Looney, multiple years now, zero effect on Rokkr. God, I'd have to go through all the teams, but like fucking Atlanta FaZe, whatever. Can't really say anything about that. I can't even think. Like Theory, I guess. Like D-Real used to. I don't even know. No, not D-Real. Like I know he used to be a player, but he actually has like the actual coaching part down, like the man management part. Like he actually has that down. And that's some like a lot of like pro players like don't really have down. But the point I was making is you got some brilliant minds and you got some young talent. How is it not coming together? Like I'm watching Rokkr play hardpoint at the end of the year, and it looks like I don't know what they did for 365 days. Like if I was coaching that team, I would be ashamed. I'd be disappointed if I'm looking at the end of the year and my team doesn't know how to play hardpoint, and we've been watching VOD, scrims, tournaments, countless mistakes throughout the year, not learning, and we're doing the same dumb shit at the end of the year. I'm not doing my job, you know? That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not doing my job if the team is literally still looking like they have no idea what's going on at hardpoint at EWC, which is what I saw from Rokkr. Even at Major 4, like that Boston Breach Vault hardpoint, I swear that's gonna go down in history. But I was saying all this stuff, like how? Like I'm like, there's gotta be something. And I'm saying the same thing Temp's saying. And I heard Temp saying this. I was literally playing this podcast at work. And I was like, oh my God, this is literally what it is. I'm like, I'm not sure if I should give Looney like the benefit of the doubt, like the same way I try to give the other coaches the benefit of the doubt, or if like they're really just that bad. Like, should I give the benefit of the doubt that it's stuff like out of their control that just, but it's like at the end of the day, it comes down to what's going on the map. And regardless of what's happening with like the organization, what you're doing on the map is completely separate. Obviously, like the mental, can affect things. But I mean, I can't say like that stuff's just gonna like make it know you have no idea what you're doing on the map, even in like the vetoes as well. So what is going on? Is like the org just bad, or is Looney just coasting, too afraid to say anything? Like, brother, how is this team still sucking so bad? Like, they got such good young talent. How I thought the second they got Kenny, when they got Kenny and 3 young guns and Looney as the coach, I thought that was the recipe for success. I was going on YouTube praising the fuck out of this. Like, this is what I've been wanting. This is what I've been waiting for. Oh my God, this is going to go so well. Completely wrong. But yeah, let's get into what Temp says.
There's just something, I don't know what's going on, because something to me doesn't make sense. Because inside in, Kenny told me that Looney is the best coach he's ever had. Looney is the greatest coach he's ever had. I've teamed with Looney for a whole year, and I played against Looney for years. He is a fan. If you look up winner in the dictionary of Call of Duty, he's a winner. He knows how to win. Great teammate. A great player, right? Very underrated in the history of COD. For some reason, I don't know. I don't have confidence in him when it comes to like building the team or some. I don't know if it's his fault. I thought it was his fault personally, because I'm just like, bro, he built the team. He built the fucking Lamar and Diamond Con AR duo. Like, and then Ken tried to tell me, well, he doesn't have the full say, but he does have a say, bro. Who is building the team? Okay, it's the players and the fucking coach, right? Unless it's some GM overshadow, right? Who is the person responsible for building the teams? Because in my opinion, they've consistently built bad teams. Okay, I get it. They've built so much bad teams that like, I mean, I don't know about y'all. I don't want to like call for anybody's job, but I was surprised that they didn't replace Looney. Just because, I mean, who else are we to like? You know what I'm saying? They're constantly building teams and just situations like somehow, some way, this guy doesn't want to play with this guy halfway 2 months into the year. Like, what is going on, right? Because I don't know what else to judge, right? We watch Rokkr, we're like, okay, the players aren't dog shit. Why are they dog? The team is dog shit though. So then I look at the coach, but then Ken said no bullshit. He's the best coach he's ever had. Great coach. He did everything he could for the team. I believe Ken him. He wouldn't just say that for no reason. So I believe him. He was probably a really good coach. So why the fuck, like, are the players on the team that fucking brain dead? Like, that could be a thing. That could be a thing. Is Nero and Geo that brain dead? Like, they was that brain dead because you kept Estro and you let, like, were they that, like, these motherfuckers were just so dumb, but that no one could save them? Because that could be a thing. Sometimes motherfuckers are unsavable. But like, then that's just bad, because then it's like, why did y'all pick them up? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, someone who we blaming? Someone's got to catch the blame at some point. And it's just Rokkr. They just hired him back. He's good. He's chilling. I've heard nothing but good things about him. I've never heard a bad thing. Why is the team shit? Like, maybe even this year, like, if
okay, so I can keep playing that, but you basically got the gist of that. And that's literally what I'm wondering. How, I've been thinking this a lot, but I've been thinking about this for years. Like, I'm wondering, are people just too afraid to say things because, like, their job's on the line? Like, my argument to that, and maybe it's just me. Like, I mean, maybe it's just me. Obviously, streaming, content creation is not for everybody, but, like, a lot of these players have, like, built-in credibility and built-in like fan bases just from being pro Call of Duty players, just from being personalities in the league. You're telling me you can't make a YouTube channel or a Twitch or something? And it just goes back to like, not everyone's trying to be like a content creator. Like, like, do you not have something to fall back on from all these years of equity that you built up that being a coach is like your only thing, and if that doesn't work, like you're fucked. So you basically have to not say anything. Like you're too scared to say anything because you don't want people to hate you, because you're trying to do your job as a coach, but you don't want to be too mean because, you know, adults can't take constructive criticism when you're not doing it out of a place of malice. You're trying to win and become a better team. If players cannot accept constructive criticism, like they shouldn't be pro players. Like, honestly, like if you can't, you have a coach on your team. If you can't hear a coach saying, like, you know, like, I think, like, in this situation, if you take that personally, like, obviously you could be like, no, like, I think I'm actually doing the right thing. You guys actually have a debate about it, like, make some points, see what the rest of the team thinks. But if you're taking things personally, like, oh, this guy's saying this, so, like, fuck, man, this guy's such a dickhead. Like, he thinks I'm like a bad. If you take it personally, if you take any constructive criticism personally, like, you shouldn't be a pro player. Like, you're not even a professional. This is part of being a professional, you know? A professional Call of Duty player. Professional athletes have coaches. You know, Like, you know, you gotta do, you know, whatever. I just, you know, the Rokkr situation when it comes to coaches and just like team building, like how did Gunless end up on the same team as Accuracy and MW3? I'm still waiting on my answer, because I could have watched one scrim and said, no, I'm sorry, like, we're changing this. Like, there's no way we're even gonna load up into the weekend. Like, nah, like, we have to make another change. I would have watched one scrim. You had to watch one hard point of them playing and just see like the pace of Accuracy and Gunless. I'm like, how did no one figure this out before? And even after like a scrim, how did no one figure this out? But yeah, I pretty much like agree with Temp, even though, you know, like, fuck these guys. But I do agree, because it's like, man, you know, and I also pair that with like this roster that we're talking about. So we're talking about like the roster of Rokkr with Kremp, Gwyn, Skies, and Estral. It's like the coach also matters, because it's like, are they going to actually get better? Like, they got good players, but it's like, if it's like another year of good players and they just like don't play good because it's like no one knows what's going on, it could either just be like a really good team or like a really bad team. Like, I actually, like, even this guy saying Sky CDL roster talking 2025, like, he had one bad year. But the pace dynamic of Gwyn and Skies is going to be interesting. Like, because if Sky's like 6 mentality of like, I got 3 pretty fast players in front of me, I have to play slow. If nobody watched fucking Merc this year, and I mean, obviously we don't know how Black Ops 7 plays yet, like, we'll know, and I'll be able to find out really, really quick after I get my hands on that game, and I start seeing everything. But you'll know really fast what type of pace like you need to be as an AR player. And if Skies like sticks to the have to be slow because I got 3 fast players, like, that's just not going to be like the wave. If it's not like an MW, and it can't be an MW3 type game, it can't be, like, you know, it's like another iteration of Black Ops 6, you know. So, but you know, you got maps like Raid where, you know, there's a little bit more anchoring, and like Sky's like a smart player, and like he has like that style where it's like slow, but it's like a methodical type slow. It's not like a who the fuck am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? Like, I mean, I'm not going to say MCC, but like, I can't say MC because there's like certain times, like, it's not like an MC slow where it's like sometimes you're actually just not doing anything, you know? You're actually just playing your life. Like, Skies is like a methodical type slow. And this actually a roster I would love like to work with. I actually feel like I would probably get some out of this roster, honestly. Like, this is like a roster with some talent. Just like comes down to a dynamic thing and what the coaches are telling them, like not being afraid to like Kremp. I'm so high on Kremp. Like, I've talked about Kremp for years. Like, give him a couple years, and I said that last year. So give him like another year, maybe even this year and another year. Like, next year, I think we'll see him like his fucking final form if he doesn't reach it this year. Like, Kremp has such a high ceiling as a player. So I expect a lot out of Kremp. Estral, clearly they like Estral, or they're keeping him on the team. I mean, I'm just not convinced after what the fuck I saw last year, but I mean, everyone can have a bad year, but that was just like a bad year, you know? That's a bad year with like your friends too. It's like you're playing with like people you're comfortable with and homies with, and like you still didn't really like they were looking good. Like, I mean, the team wasn't looking good, but like the players were looking at their best like earlier in the year, like stage 1, stage 2, and then it just fell like off a cliff and never recovered. And then Gwen obviously has superstar potential, but I mean, like, that play style is definitely something that we're gonna have to take a deeper dive into on Black Ops 7, and probably in this offseason, since we got time. That's another thing I gotta put on my docket. Now that I'm doing this podcast, I'm actually thinking of things to watch, which is actually great. So that's good. EWC gameplay. I'm even gonna write it down right now. Win gameplay. Okay, but I like the pieces. I'm not sure I feel about Gwen as a flex, but we have to see how the game plays. Like, that's like the main thing. Got to see how the game plays. But that's another month from now. Like, holy cow, that's literally another month. But I kind of vibe with it. I like Estral and Cramp. Like, I think they'll come up with like great S&D strats. Like, they'll have a good dynamic there. But there needs to be some more takeover power. There needs to be some more skill there. You know, there needs to be some, like, some players just need to hit the next level, and that involves some good coaching. You know, some man-to-man coaching. Like, I think with players like Kremp and Estriel and Gwyn, like, you need a coach with like passion to like actually want to help players get better, not just like the team, but actually focus in on like the actual player and like how they are, and like, you know, really work. Like, you know, that's the type of coach I would like to be, not just like gameplay, but actually helping people get better. You know, that's what I feel like a coach is. Like, everyone thinks like being a coach in this CDL all about gameplay, but that's just like the one-dimensional, like, fucking nobody coaches. The good coaches in like the CDL have some man management to them. Like, man management is a part of being a coach. You know, you get the best out of players when they're actually like good, like, you know, as people, you know, where they're actually like, good within themselves. That's how you get the best out of players. It's not just about like what they're doing on the map. This is a team that has potential, but like, I don't think they're gonna reach their potential because, you know, there's probably some pieces that just aren't gonna work. I can see a roster change here. Like, I can pretty much see a roster change within everyone in like the mid pack. Honestly, like, it's gonna be like that year again. You're gonna see players in challengers take over. You're gonna see Rokkr make a change. Like, you know, just gonna happen. Just the way it is. But I really like what Donnie Temp said. I really did like what he said. But yeah, there's not really that much roster stuff, so there's like a couple more things I want to go over. So before we get into the TacticalRab thing, if you have like the video open, I just want to give my slight piece on this like NaDeSHoT drama. This is completely off topic, and this is like over. I'm like super duper fucking late on this, but I do want to say something about this because, you know, had the platform now. Here's what I want to say. And this is advice to everybody, and it's advice I'm not going to say I need to take myself because I've been taking it. And, you know, I've like gotten pretty comfortable doing it. You just have to not care what anybody thinks. You could do no wrong, you could do no good, and people will find something to say no matter what. You got Mr. Beast like doing the thing where he is getting clean water for people in Africa, and people are still saying something bad. That was like, that's when I put my foot down. I mean, I put my foot down long before that, but that's when I really was like, okay, you cannot do anything good. It will not matter. Like, I'm not saying like don't do anything good, but it's like no matter what you do, whether it's good or bad, people will find something bad to say about it. So you just have to do your thing. And dude, like, fuck, NaDeShot's like a great guy. I fucking love NaDeShot. NaDeShot's the reason why I'm a content creator today. He is literally, I would literally run home from school, grab my chocolate milk, my peanut butter and jam sandwich with peanuts, and watch his road to master. Like, NaDeShot is the reason why I'm a content creator today. I have all the love in the world for NaDeShot. He's just a cool guy. He's the real guy. Like, you just like see such just a real guy, you know, just a cool guy. Like I got nothing but respect for Nate. He's so transparent all the time, bro. He has a family. Like, dude, life-changing money for his family. People are like, bro, it's so funny. Like, that one clip I pulled up on Twitter where like the guy in the stream was like, Yeah, Nate, I've been watching for a long time now. I don't got any, like, man, like, you just fucking, like, you lost my respect with that. I would have been like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up, brother. Don't watch me then. Like, fuck off, man. Like, dude, I got kids now. I'm being offered life-changing money. You know, life-changing money to go gamble in fucking Mexico for da-da-da-da-da. Like, dude. Has nothing to do with, like, the 100 Thieves businesses, like, individual decision. People are fine. Brother, opening packs in any game, Apex, Counter-Strike, whatever. Opening packs in any game, you're fucking gambling. Hate to break it to you guys. Sorry, you're gambling. You're spending money opening something in hopes of getting something that you probably won't get, and it'll probably influence you to spend more money. That is gambling. You're gambling every time you open a pack. Or spend money to open packs. So you're expecting something, but you don't know if you're actually going to get it. So you're putting in a certain amount of money to try to, like, that's gambling. Odds. What are the odds I'm going to get this item, you know? If you're opening heirlooms, if you're opening packs on Apex in hopes to get heirlooms, you're gambling. Everything's gambling. Every pack opening is fucking gambling. So, you know, him doing Counter-Strike, spending tens of thousands on packs, everyone's encouraging that. And then, like, everyone's so weird. So, if you need some reiteration, because everyone deserves some reiteration, guys, just don't listen to what people say. You know, I got my first glimpse of really hearing people's opinions. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm only human. It rocked me a tad bit because, you know, I'm doing my YouTube. Like, you know, I'm doing my YouTube. There's, like, the negative comment. I don't give a fuck about that. But then, you know, when the Kenny thing started, and then now everybody's chiming. Like, now you get a glimpse of what it's like to be like, you know, I'm not going to say I'm like anything big, but you guys have no idea the things I've seen. Like, the things I've seen and the people I talk, you have no idea, you know? But I got a glimpse of what it's like to be like a big content creator and like really hearing people's opinion and seeing it. Like, you know, that kind of rocked me, but it's good that it happened because like now I don't care because I already didn't care, but I was not caring on like my 3,000 subscriber level, you know, a lot of people see me, you know, and make an opinion, but now it's like every big Twitter's posting you, every big content creator is now going, critiquing, saying stuff, you know, everybody, and then the people watching them are not saying stuff, so now you're getting a whole different, you know, whole different level of opinion, and like quantifying the mass of all these people making opinion on you. You know, you're only a human, you're not meant to hear like hundreds, thousands of people saying stuff about you, you know? That's not normal. So yeah, I'm glad I got used to that. Glad I got used to that because now I just don't care, but I like never cared anyway. Because, you know, the second I turn off this screen, you know, I'm in my real life, you know? I don't care. But yeah, just don't care what people say because, you know, you could do no wrong, you could do no good. Someone's going to find something, and all these people are the weirdest motherfuckers, and they're not even real, you know? So I literally don't care. So yeah, I just wanted to say about the NaDeSHoT thing because I was like, man, I really want to say something about that, but like, you know, whatever. But I don't even like talking about that stuff, to be honest. I would love to play it the whole Rokkr part that they talked about. I just love reacting to shit, but I'm going to get to like the final thing before we close out this episode of the Borito Talk podcast, and it's TacticalRab explaining why he has eggs over Simp all time and why I actually agree with Mr. Rabito. Let's play this.
A lot of people that would say that Simp has surpassed Aches for some time, and I totally get that argument. The reason why I've got it this way round is just because Simp's career, as much as Simp is genuinely one of the most incredible COD players I've ever seen, his record just isn't good enough. Like, it is what it is. Like, Aches, for maybe his faults as a player, and like he wasn't good at the end of his career, nobody's going to argue that he was, but when Aches was in his prime, he was basically unplayable in the early days. He redefined in many ways how COD was even played. He was a key force in competitive COD for multiple years, obviously even pre-BO2, but BO2 certainly Ghost, where he was completely dominant, and then even following that, and then the achievement of him somehow winning in 2018 with Evil Geniuses and taking that team in, you know, after the Jetpack era was over, back to the top was like, that was a situation where the chance of them winning was so slim, and Aix managed to bring his team. I mean, it wasn't just Aix, obviously. Like, he wasn't the key driving force in the slaying or anything, but they needed to 3-0 to get that year's World Championship to even make it out of the group, and they had like one chance to win the World Championship, and they did. So to me, like, Aix's legacy and what he achieved in terms of like accomplishments, super impressive. And Simp, while they have the same amount of World Championships and Simp's the better player, like, I think that's kind of difficult to deny in terms of talent, I guess, but in terms of overall career, I think I still take Aix. But if Simp had won, I don't know, another 5 finals, then I think there's no doubt that it would be Simp here. But I don't know. I think I can still justify this.
Okay, I actually agree. And I know I made like my like top 5 or top 10 like a while ago, like literally like a person asked me. So this is me like basically fucking changing my opinion, I guess. But I actually agree. You could argue who's like the better player, like skill wise, it'd make a lot of sense saying Simp. But if we're talking about like greatest Call of Duty players of all time, for those of you guys who don't know, I talked about Karma, how much I used to love watching Karma. But if we're talking about my favorite player of all time, it's Aix. Aix has been my favorite player. I loved his attitude. I loved the way he made everyone mad, and I loved the way he would talk shit and back it up. And in like the biggest moments, it's like he didn't even care. It's like every game was just another game to him. Like, if we're talking about even like Call of Duty Ghosts, like for those of you who don't remember, like even like 2Ks, 5Ks, like I'm not even talking about 2Ks, 5Ks, like let's talk about even like on LAN. He would talk, he would talk all the shit in the world, and he would be in situations and just completely back it up and just continue making it look easy. Like, he was the reason why a lot of Call of Duty crowds are very quiet. There'd be a lot of quiet grand finals because it's just him shutting up the fans who really want to see him lose. And, having that pressure of knowing everybody wants to see you lose, and they show up and they're like, they're saying stuff, and you're still going out there performing and still talking your shit and still winning. Like, that is a level of tippability that, like, that's the type of dog that, like, Atlanta FaZe does not have. Like, fucking Atlanta FaZe, when it comes to pressure, I mean, fuck, like, we fucking seen it, bro. They're coming to LAG. That would never happen at Aix. Like, I couldn't even imagine Complexity, like, fucking losing to, like, a team on the level of LAG. If we're talking about Vanguard, like, they would not. Like, that would never happen. Like, in a grand final. Are you kidding me? That would never fucking happen. And honestly, yeah, so Aix is like my favorite player of all time. If anything, I would honestly have Aix, like, I would have Aix ahead of Shotzzy still, because I think Shotzzy just has to win more. I mean, granted, there's not enough fucking tournaments, but if we're talking about, like, just, I think that third world championship just pushed, like, Shotzzy up for, like, a lot of people, but I still think Aix had a way, way better career. Like, Shotzzy needs just more championships in general, but yeah, I should rate Aix very highly. And yeah, I mean, I actually agree with what TacticalRab said, and like everyone's here, like, yeah, everyone just sucks, dude. Like the way everyone just like replies to everything is like so weird. That's why y'all aren't real people. Like, y'all like you guys are the type of people. I'm not gonna say it, but no, you guys are the type of people I fucking pass in the street and I don't even notice. Like, these are the people that are fucking actually typing on Twitter. You're the people I don't even notice. Like, no aura at all. But yeah, that's oh, one more thing, I guess I forgot about it. The Miami thing, Traixx on Miami. How could I forget? And how funny is it that I was just doing a stream about him, and if you'd be good, CDL ready, and then like 3 days later he's on a fucking team. I like the pickup from Miami. I like the fact that they're taking a chance on a young player and they're going to develop him. They're going to put him in a good environment, and they're gonna hope for the best. But I don't think he's ready. Like, I made that conclusion in my stream. he does play like Real, and like the one thing I noticed, he had very good KDs, very consistent in like the kill category in challengers. And I did say before that like if you're constantly averaging good KDs in challengers, like that means like, you know, like you should be playing at like the next level, because it's like if these motherfuckers aren't fucking like if they're not touching you like that, then I mean you're somewhat ready for like the next level. But I noticed like the way he played, I would just be watching him and all of a sudden I would like look at the score. He's like 21 and like 15, but it's like I'm watching his arrow and it doesn't feel like he's 21 and 15, you know? Like it felt like there's room to be desired. He made a lot of good plays, got a lot of good two pieces, but I don't think his decisiveness is there. And I would compare this to like, I'm going to make a soccer reference, I'm sorry. It's like going from the Bundesliga to like the Premier League. It's like going from challengers to the CDL. You're playing at like a different kind of pace. Like you're playing with people who are well-oiled machines and will punish you for every little mistake, and you have to make these decisions split second as the hard point's going on, like split second decisions. Every decision you make impacts your team and the game and the other team taking advantage of it. And that's a big thing I noticed was his lack of good decision making. Like, and he's replacing Real, okay? He's replacing Real, and Real was very good at that type of stuff, making split decisions. He's like the island player, like the ratty player, like the route type player, and that's basically what Traixx is slotting into. And Traixx, who I don't think is CL ready next to Metals, it just leaves some room to be desired. It's like the AR situation looks pretty good, you know? AR situation looks pretty good if, you know, they're able to do what they did in Black Ops 6. But the SMG leaves room to be desired. Like I think they're going to struggle. Like Miami is a good team this year, but I think this dynamic, unless Traixx just comes out and he's a fucking superstar, I guess. But I mean, it's a whole new game. So I mean, I can't even say, well, we're not playing Black Ops 6 anymore, but that's all I could go off of. So I'm not sure if I like it though. I feel like Traixx he needs a better SMG around him. But I mean, that's no disrespect to Metals, but we're gonna have to see like some more levels from Metals, honestly, because yeah, you're basically expecting Traixx to go in and take over. And I mean, I'm not saying people can't. I mean, we fucking see in Merc, let he come in and fuck take over. I'm not sure if Traixx has that same takeover ability. I'm not sure. He did in challengers. He was piecing sometimes. Like constantly had like a very good. Constantly had like a 1.15, 1.12, or like a 1.2. Like he's doing very good in respawns, but I feel like the decisiveness, I'm not saying he can't learn it, but it's going to be a learning curve. That's what I'm talking about. But I do like the chance that they're just taking a chance on him. But if I'm looking from like a Rancor super perspective, they're like, bro, I could have been on a better team, and now I have to like, you know, and I'm going to have a player on my team who I have to like get up to speed as opposed to like being on the next level that I think I'm at. Like, that's just me speculating, by the way. But yeah, I mean, if Rancor is a free agent, guarantee he would not be on this team. Like if he was, but he's under contract, so he's a very nice guy. He's a good boy. He's not gonna say anything about it. So you know, it is what it is. But like this Traixx move, I mean, I like the fact they're taking it. I'm not gonna hate it, but don't expect anything crazy out of Miami right away. It could get better. I think that SMG dynamic now, I mean, you're basically expecting a lot more out of your ARs and everyone else on the team, like the ARs and Metals. But, you know, maybe he comes in and he's just like a lord. But I'm going to have to watch like some more gameplay, because I watched like 2 series. I watched like 1-2 series. I got to watch some more series now that he's actually on the team. And now that I know he's not an AR, he's actually an SMG. But I actually noticed that on the stream. But I'm going to go through some more Traixx gameplay. So that's another thing I'm writing down in the thing. I can't wait till I have my new iPhone Pro Max. Oh my God, that's going to hit. I fucking need a big screen so bad. But yeah, guys, that's it for this episode of Borito Talk. You know, if more stuff comes out, I'm going to start talking. I'm so sorry for the hiatus. I'm so sorry. You know, life just happens, and you know, like some personal stuff within myself, not anything personal that happened to anyone, but some personal stuff within myself. I had like a main character moment. I had to like I had to like, it's like Batman at the beginning of like that movie. I don't know which Batman. It was a Christian Bale Batman when he like goes into like, he's like in like the snow and he goes to like those like monks and like they like, like that type of shit. Like, that's the type of shit I was on. I had to like find myself again, and now, I found myself, so I'm back. And tomorrow, gonna be going through, we're gonna start like the Dashy Vanguard streams like tomorrow. So minimum 2 hours. I'm gonna try to do it for the rest of September going into October. Depends how long it's gonna take. We're gonna start in Vanguard, do MW2, MW3, Cold War. I think we're gonna skip Cold War, but we're gonna start in Vanguard though. We're gonna start in like the Kill Whore year, which was Vanguard. And then we're gonna go through qualifier games. We're gonna go through major tournaments, mostly focusing on Dashy, but just watching, having a good time. So hopefully you're there. I mean, that's basically what I'm gonna be doing. And then I'll be doing like a video every once in a while, but the streams are pretty much gonna take over for like the next like 30 days. But you're gonna have all the stream VOD. And yeah, but I am gonna be inserting like some YouTube videos in between. I'm back on my Grizz now. Like, I'm back on the Grizz. Like, I'm not taking any more hiatuses now. No more hiatus that you're not gonna know about. Okay? But yeah, guys, with that being said, this has been another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I really need you guys. If you listen to this at work, I know some of you guys do because I see the statistics. Spotify, that's the place to be. You have the audio and you still have the video as well. So if you're ever at work and there's a certain part where it's like, oh, like I wonder what they're looking at, open up Spotify. That's where it's at. That's all I'm saying. Follow the show on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts as well, but Spotify I think is way better. Sorry, I mean, I'm an Apple user. New AirPods come out too. Like Champions League this week. We got Champions League, new iPhone, AirPods Friday, WrestlePalooza, AEW All Out, all this weekend. A lot of fun stuff coming this week, and I mean, just the content's coming back. The hot takes on Twitter coming back. Follow the Twitter. But, that's it for me, guys. Borito Talk's going to be back, too. But, I mean, there needs to be some stuff to talk about. I was always talking about random shit. But I did say I was going to do that. So, that's up to me to figure out. But expect Borito Talk podcast back every single Monday. I'm going to try my best. This one's Tuesday. My bad. There's stuff going on Monday. But, yeah, this has been Borito. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time.